Okay. Hey YouTubers. I've been asked a few times by my friends that ride bikes about changing tires. There is actually a knack to it. So what I'm going to show you is the front tire. Works the same on the back tire, but my son will get in close here. So what you want to do is you want to open up your brakes. You have a lever on it. Most likely, this is a Cannondale Super 6 Evo. And then you want to pop this and then pick a side and unloosen it. Loosen it. I guess unloosen would be tighten. And then you want to pop it. Oh, didn't do enough. Okay, now we popped it. Now I'm going to lay my bike down nice. So, here we go. Pretend I have a flat tire here. So, take the cap off if you have the cap. Something else I do with the long stem, I put two keepers on it. I put two on here. I'm going to take those off. I'm going to set them right next to my cap. Now I'm going to release the rest of the air. Okay, now here's an important thing. What I did here was the yellow on race on my tire, I lined up with the Mavic yellow and yellow. And I'll show you why I did this. Because when I take this off, when I change the inner tube, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I don't have something in my tire. And I'll show you what I do there. So now I'm going to pull this off. So now I'm going to go over to my kit. This is what you want. I ride a bike where there's no cell phone reception. And if you get a flat tire out there, you're on your own. And it's a long way between towns as well. So I have my air this way, and I also have my air this way. Now, not everybody does this, but I do, because usually I'm with two water bottles and an AeroBar water bottle as well, because sometimes I'll go out for 100 kilometers or better. So in my kit, here's another thing. You're out there, don't litter. That's what these back pockets are for. They're for snacks and litter. Keep some tape with you. So I'm gonna put that aside, and now you have options. Now I have two different types. I like the ones with the park tool with the hooks. Get in there. Now the hook goes around your spoke, and then you can take this one here. In fact, it's even easier if you do a second one. Might have gone a little too far. Well, I'm not making this look easy, am I? Just do it that way instead. But you can use two, sometimes it helps. Okay, so now put my tools aside again, and I'm going to peel off the tire. It's a nice tight one. I have a 23, I think, on here. Sometimes I go with a 20. I used to race with a 21. This is a 23. I used to race with a 21. It's not necessary. A lot of people race with 25s now. Okay, so now inner tube's off. Again, we don't need the litter. This can go in our back pocket. And if you want it, you can test it. Put some air in it. This one's actually still good. Put some air in it. But if you don't, put it in your back pocket. We're not litter bugs. Okay, next. Check this. Make sure that your ribbon in here is nice and clean. You can feel something. It's clean. Now, what did I tell you? I'm going to check my tire this way. I'm gonna rub so starting at the race, I'm gonna run my fingers through here. And if there is a piece of metal, a nail that I can't see, you get a little tiny piece of metal that goes straight in, and you put another inner tube back on it, that piece of metal that's in your tire will go right back in, and you'll have a flat again in seconds. And it may happen just as you're, so I stopped because I went past the race again. So now I've tested it. I have nothing in my tire that's gonna obstruct the inner tube from being. So here's the other thing. Okay, a lot of people have deep socket, deep wheel. So you can buy the deep ones. They're, in fact, I think this one's the 10 mil, which would do fine with this. I think this one's the 30 mil, and I think this is the 40 mil. So when I mean millimeters for the American listeners. So anyway, I'm gonna put back on my old, why not? Start with, go with the 10 mil. So again, garbage goes in your back pocket all the time. Now a new one will come with all the stuff, and here's the other thing I do is I keep a baggie on the side. I keep a baggie with any kind of stuff, including money. I keep cleat holders in there, and you never know when your cleat loosens up and you lose that while riding. That's happened before. And anything that like that, I throw in my little baggie. Close it up again. Goes in there with my wallet, my ID. I have a phone mount as well here. This nice little phone mount. You can get them. All you have to do is say phone mount in your phone, and well, it'll probably show up on Instagram or Facebook anyway. Okay, so next, what do we do here? Now you have two options, and I'm not going to use this because these are gold. So if I was out on the road, I would start with this, open this up, make sure that's open. Let's start with this. This is my Skycon. I got it with my bike bag. I'm going to put some air in there. Okay, I probably put too much air. That's okay. I can let some out. Now I'm going to take my tire, and where am I going to line it up? I'm going to line up the stem with race. For any time that you get a flat, you want to check it. So here we go. Putting it in here. I do have way too much air in there. I'm going to let some out. Next thing I do, so it doesn't pop out on me, is put on one of my little keepers. Now, not too much, because what you want to do is you want to push it back and get the tire seated in there. And now it's a matter of just rolling it. Again, I still have way too much air in here. I'm going to get more air out. And now it's just a matter of rolling it around. This always takes the longest. Also, if you are a new cyclist, get all your go to your local bike store, not Walmart, not Canadian Tire, not Sears, still around. Anyway, don't go there. You know, their bikes are not put together by professionals. Go to your local bike store, buy your parts there. Put your money into those people. They'll be around next time whenever you need them, and you will need them. So I go to Oxygen Bikes in Etobicoke. They sold me this bike. I also go to a guy named Wilbert at Benjamin Sports in Toronto. I have 3 race bikes that I've kept since 1999. I'm never going to get rid of them, so I just keep adding to my bikes. Of course, I don't race with 3 of them. I only race with the 1. Okay, so again, you're going to get to a spot where it's going to be really tough. Take the rest of the air out. Air's your friend, but air also can make this a little bit more difficult. But now you've got it seated, and you want to, this is where your tools come back into play. Unless you really strong fingers, maybe. Now, I'm making this pinch and I'm not happy, but let's see if I maybe do a second video after I pinch flat this thing. I don't like that. I'm going to take it off a bit. If you see you're doing a pinch flat, see that? That's the inner tube, and that's between the rim and the tire. What will happen is once I start putting air in there, that won't get any air, or it'll get too much air, and as soon as I hop on the bike, pop! That sucker will just, and that's called a pinch flat. So I need to get the tire, the inner tube, I need to get it up back into where the rim is, between the rims. And so I'm going to just take a little bit more of the tire off and push that back in, because I can feel it. This is where now maybe I should put a little bit more air in. I took out too much air, now I have to put some more back in. These are all, you know what, I'm glad I'm making these mistakes. Just something to think about when you're out there all by yourself or with a group. If you're with a group, better. I ride a lot by myself. And like I said, I ride in a rural area that has no internet, no cell phone service. Not in the whole place, but a lot of places. And so I've had flat tires before where, I can't even call someone to say, hey, come pick me up. Once I got 2 flat tires. And of course, I got 3 flat tires. And I was out, because I take normally 2 with me. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is, now you want to check to make sure. And again, I'm going to start at where the stem is. And now I'm going to check to see that I haven't pinched it. So this is when you go like this. And if Ethan would come in here, I don't see the inner tube. So I go around, and what I do is I put my finger between 2 of the spokes, and I look every one till I get back to race. And I just look to see if I've got the inner tube pinched between the rim and the tire, because that means I'll have to do this all over again. So I'm almost back to where the stem is. Back to the stem. Good. That side's good. And I'm going to check the other side. And you're going, why does it take so long to change a tire? Well, if you do it right, instead of fast, you won't have to do it again for a mistake reason. So let's just, double and triple check. I had a guy one time, I was riding out there, and he saw me and he goes, wow, I never thought about doing any of those things. And he goes, I never thought about checking to see if maybe the tire had something stuck in it. Okay, so now this is where out there I would be going, okay, give me that. Okay, now like I said, those things are gold, so I'm gonna have my son pause it for a second. I'm actually gonna get my pump, I'm gonna pump it back up, and then I'm gonna put it on and show you a little trick there too. Okay. Back to it, Ethan. Let me know when you're ready. Okay, So just to let you know, with this, these tires on there, they'll tell you what your pressure should be. And this one says 87 psi minimum, 8 bars, and 116 psi maximum. Sorry, 6 bars was minimum, 8 bars max, 87 psi minimum, 116 psi. So it's by the tire, not the inner tube, just to let you know. Okay, so here we are. Let's get our bike back together. So the last thing we do here is, once you got it seated, so what I do is, I remember that I loosened it with the toggle side. So now I want to tighten it, so I'm just keeping it in this. And what I do is, I just go until it pinches, and maybe a little, maybe a half turn more. Oh, a little more than that. Gotta really feel it. There we go. That was a full turn. Okay, so the next thing now you want to do is, I look straight down, and I'm gonna close my brake pads. Now, most people nowadays have, and I'm just double checking to make sure it's not touching the tire. And so now I'm going like this. I do that, I hit the brakes once. I do that, I don't hear anything rubbing. I hit the brakes one more time. I do a third time, I still don't hear anything rubbing, which means my brakes are lined up nicely. I'm watching my tire spin. It is spinning nice, it's smooth, it's straight, it's not wobbling. So I'm good to go, okay? What's the last thing I will do? The last thing I will do, I'll check my surroundings. I'll put back the stuff. In this case, I'll put my cap back on. Some people don't like to put their cap on. I don't know, habit, I do. The little piece, the little keeper that keeps it on, I'll throw in there. As you can see, my toolkit, I've got my park tool. I even has a fizzer, whatever. I keep 2, a couple extra cartridges. This one has, these get cold, so these have a thing on it. And I have a little tiny C-wrench, and I have some bolts in there too. Just the MacGyver of it. Throw my tire changer in there. This will go in my back pocket if it's dead. So go back here. This will go in. I will take this and I will tape it around so that I have one. Now, like I said, I have usually 3 bottles, but sometimes I don't, so I'll take my cage off and I'll have a holder for this and I'll put that on. It all depends. And when I race, I usually just go with one with my bottle up here, and that's it, because in races they have stations out there to that you can pick up water or drink. I mean, anything over 90 kilometers for 56 miles for those. Just double check everything, close it all up, put your helmet back on, and that is done. Thank you very much. I hope that helps anybody to make it easier that you don't get another flat. Okay? Thanks, YouTubers. Bye.